Hey guys, Jane here, and today I'm doing a brief review of the movie Aquaman. So, I love superheroes, and I have read a lot of comic books in my past. I have not read the Aquaman series, so this was my first real exposure to Aquaman lore. If you are not familiar, Aquaman is the son of the Queen of Atlantis. She's the queen of an underwater kingdom and a mortal lighthouse keeper man. And their son's name is Arthur. And honestly, his story has a lot of similarities to the King Arthur of Camelot story. So I'm a huge fan of King Arthur, so I did love all of the parallels between this Arthur story and King Arthur, including the magical trident being very similar to the sword in the stone. So in this movie, this is kind of the Aquaman origin story. Aquaman has been raised on the surface by his father. His mother returned to the underground kingdom underwater kingdom to keep him safe. And as far as he's been told, she has been killed. It was found out that she had a son with the lighthouse keeper, and it was treason. She is afterwards married the king down there, and they had a child too. So Aquaman is kind of in a fight with his half-brother. His half-brother wants to raise up the underwater kingdoms against the surface, and the hope is that Aquaman can intervene and kind of get everybody working together. This movie has some really interesting commentary about pollution and our effect as people on the water and underwater environments, sea creatures, things like that. There's also a love interest. It was good. It was interesting. The girl here is supposed to be marrying his brother, but she kind of has the hots for Arthur. Understandably, because if you see him and his brother, they don't look nothing alike. I know who I have the hots for too. Okay, so overall though, this book was only a 3 out of 5 for me. Or this movie was only a 3 out of 5 for me. I loved the commentary on our environment, or our impact on the environment. I also loved all of the parallels to the Arthurian legends with this Arthur. That tickled me pink. I just loved it. However, overall, this movie didn't super do it for me. It wasn't a bad movie, but, and there was a plot. It was a reasonable plot. There was characters that were properly motivated. I was fine with it. It just didn't blow me away the way I'd hoped. I thought there was maybe too much atmosphere. There was too much, we're seeing all these sights, and it was a little overwhelming. And the setting sometimes got a little in the way of the plot. I felt in some ways like the people who made this video really wanted to show off their cool CGI stuff. And so they made an adventure story, which is Arthur, to go and save people, you have to go and get the magical trident. And that's basically the plot of this book, is Arthur, go find the trident. And if you do, you'll save people. And you'll save you'll save the world, because your brother is trying to raise up an army against. There's also an individual bad guy in this, besides the half-brother, called the Mantis, who Aquaman... And I didn't love the Mantis's situation. So Mantis, him and his father were pirates, and they were attacking a ship that Aquaman basically saved them from the pirates. But in this, Mantis's father died, and Aquaman didn't save him. And I think that's kind of out of character for a lot of what we see with Aquaman, because he is an overall pretty decent guy. And I thought it was more like plot related. Like, I didn't see a real good reason for him not saving Mantis's dad. The reason we're given is, your dad's a pirate, so I'm not saving him. But I mean, yeah, I didn't love that. I didn't necessarily think that worked. I would have liked a little more reason why Arthur decided not to do that. You do kind of, you get the impression, I felt like they were trying to show you that Aquaman, unlike a lot of the other heroes, is not entirely good. He's got some dark side to him. He's got a little bit of a I don't care thing going on. But I didn't necessarily think that was very effectively brought through. And I didn't necessarily love that, especially with the Mantis. With the people underwater in the underwater kingdoms, I understood where he was coming from of, that's not my problem. But to purposely save a whole submarine full of crew and then not save Mantis's dad for no good reason other than he's a pirate, that's what he deserves, I didn't love that. So you do have Mantis who's kind of interfering, but this is very much an adventure story, which is not my thing, with a lot of pretty CGI, which is fine, but I didn't love it. The characters were okay. The Arthurian legend part, that I liked, but for the most part, this is a lot of people running around and shooting people and saving people and fancy proton gun things. And yeah, so if that's what you like, if you're big into action flicks, go for it. If you don't love things that are very highly action flicks and very high, CGI, this is spectacular visually, but it kind of left me wanting more for the rest of it. So that's kind of my final thoughts on Aquaman. It was fine. It was worth watching once. It's not one I will probably watch again, even though Jason is beautiful. And there's not nearly enough of him shirtless in this, just saying. But yeah, and I will say that seems to be something that a lot of other people have felt as well, that it was a good one-off, we watched it, it was fine, but it didn't necessarily have anything that makes me want to go back and watch it again and again and again. It's not a new favorite. So yeah, this is Aquaman, and that's my thoughts. All right, guys, the usual, please remember to like, subscribe if you haven't. My information is below if you'd like to connect with me. Also, in case you were not aware, I am a novelist. I write mostly historical, paranormal, but there's other stuff out there too. That's all linked below in the Amazon Author Central profile, but my books are also available on Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Smashword, Overdrive, kind of a lot of places. So please check me out if you read in the romance genre. All right, guys, this is Jane. I'll see you next time. Bye.